Hi chaps, how are we all doing? It's been a couple of days now and it's time to get some more work done on this dio for the Hände hoch, hands up dio. If you remember, I left it at the stage where I just doing the paper mache over the entire model and over the entire diorama, and I gave it a coat then of PVA. Now that was on Tuesday. Today is now Friday and it's finally dry. It's dry. It was dryish yesterday. I was going to do this yesterday. I said no, I'll give it another day and wait till it fully dries. So now it's fully dry, the paper mache that is. So we're going to have a look at the bench, we're going to have a look at this, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. Okay? Right, so here we have it. As you can see, it's this is all dry. There's our hill and our little bit of a raised side here, and our road section here. It's kind of probably hard to see, but there you go. You get the idea of the undulations, okay, from that. So what I'm going to do now next is I'm going to paint the outside edge here, okay, in black. I'm going to use a gloss black for this. Then I'm going to tape that off when that is dry, and then paint the whole thing then with a matte black. Okay, the matte black then it'll be the base for shading. I use black and then spats of white and things like that, and then I give it a coat of the sandy colour. Okay, so the next time you see it, it should have all those done. The black done, taped off, and the pre-shading done on that. Okay, and then we'll stop at that. We look at the pre-shading and then we'll go on then for the next couple of layers. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that for this clip. When you see it again, like I said, it will have the outside line done and this bit here all nicely darkened. I will not necessarily black, because I might use the native black, which is more of a greyish colour, and some highlight bits. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. I'll catch you on the next clip and we'll move on from there. Right, now, so I have it got to this stage. I've got the black down, I've got it masked off. I'm after getting this base coated. What I used household paint, yep, simple household cream paint, painted the whole thing, and then use the airbrush with some brown and a bit of native black, and just changed it up a bit, just giving it a bit of different colours and things like that, just to kind of change it around a small bit. Can't have it all the one boring colour now, can we? So next step for this is to get down, give it a coat of PVA glue and get our sand and stuff down. But first of all, before we even do that, we've got to make our sand and stuff. Now I've got a bag of decorative sand, which I'll show you now in a sec, and with that I'm going to sift it out into different grades. Right, I want the heavier stuff up around here in the hills and the raised parts, and the nice white soft sand, not white but I mean sandy coloured sand. Sandy coloured sand. Well done, John. Excuse me. Again. And the lighter stuff then in the path section. Okay, so I'll just show you the sand that I've got and what I'm going to do to it. I must get tangled up in the wires. Right, there's my my decorative sand. Okay, and what it is, I bought it in the pound shop actually, and it's just decorative sand, exactly what it says in the thing, and it's got all different grades of sand and little bits of gravel and all that kind of stuff mixed in through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a sieve, sift it out, and get I want all the light stuff taken out of it, and I want the heavier grade stuff. Okay, so I'm going to sift out some of that and I'll show you what it looks like once I have it sifted. Right lads, so here we are. My gravel is all sifted with my medium sand and my fine sand. Use a large kitchen sieve to get the stuff. Okay, once that was separated, then I put it through this little one. Yes, tiny little sieve, very, very small. What it's off of, I'll show you. These things go together, right? And you pop that into your, you fill it with tea or tea leaves. You pop it into your cup or whatever you want to put it into, and you can get yourself tea, kind of a homemade tea bag kind of thing, a tea strainer. Okay, whatever they're called, I do not know exactly, but that's basically the idea of what they're for. Okay, and I just put a little bit of a wire handle on it just to make it a little bit easier for myself, and I you know, pushed it through, and I ended up with this, and what was left then went into here. So I got my 3 different grades of sand. Right, my next step now is to get down me Dio, coat it in PVA glue, or good old a good friend, the old PVA glue stuff, works for everything. Give it a nice coating of that, and then just add on the 3 different grades in the you know, onto it. The heavy stuff here on the hills, the bit of this, and any patches then that leaves, I'll fill it up with that, and then use this stuff then on the path section. Okay, the pathway between the 2 little mounds. Okay, so I'm going to get stuck in with that, and I'll show you when all that is finished. Okay, and then it's a case of, then next step after that then is to start fitting the vehicles and the figures to the Dio. So the next clip, when I show you, that'll be the end of that, and then we'll do a final reveal then of the whole Dio when it's all finished. Okay, so in the next clip, like I said, I'll have all this stuff on the Dio. Right, now here we are, and as you see, all the sand and gravelly bits and all that have been put on. That's been drying now for the last day and a half or so. So the next step now is to get all the loose bits off. Okay, so it's nice and solid. This is the dirty job, so make sure you have a nice big piece of paper or something, bit of newspaper, anything at all, just to shake it off onto. No, this is a case of, it's the fingers crossed moment. Let's hope it all works out. Isn't that it? So what do? I basically pick it all up and turn it upside down and give it a couple of taps. And there we go. Now all that is nicely steady, so we'll just put that away for a second. We release all this again. Oh, remember this is all 3 all mixed back in again. So I got my little jar, waste up whatnot, it'll always come in handy again. And just pour it. And make a mess. I have no more room. Oh God. Right, I need another container. Badly need another container. Temporary container. That'll do me. This is full of them. Full of temporary containers. Okay. So that's all been cleaned off. I need to take some of the excess off that, because there we go. Put that aside. So now I just have to little brush, always handy to have. Little brush. Push all this stuff in here. And we can bring our dial back again. Back down on the table, and there we go. So if you just give me a second, I'm going to change the angle, and we'll do a kind of a mock setup of how it's going to look, and we'll see what the idea of it, how it works, and then it's a case of then I just have to pin the men down and other little bits and pieces, and a little bit of sand filler in around them just to make it all work. So in the next clip we'll start, I'll just change the camera angle and we'll start adding on our bits and pieces that we're adding on to the dia. And now here we go. Right, we've got our bits and pieces, our figures and our vehicles and things, right? First of all, we're going to have, like I said, this tank here. It doesn't want to fit in properly, so we'll fit it that way. Okay. There's our little Panzer II. Our little Leichter Panzer Sparwagen, which is basically light armoured car. Right, the figures got to be all fixed. So, I mean, all these figures have to be fixed and a little bit more work to be done to them. Excuse me. As with our Germans, I'm not going to leave them on stands. I'm going to say cut the stand off mostly, drill a little hole into that and secure them to the base. Okay, so we've got this chap running up here. This chap is running up, sorry for shaking the old camera there, this chap is running up between the two of them. We've got our Jeep, yes, our SAS chaps, who just after coming around the hill and straight into a German patrol. So there we go. Okay, and that's going to be our little layout for it. Okay, so all in all, I'm quite happy with how the layout is. Now it's a case of I'm going to use another little bit of sand on this because I want it a bit more, how would you say, rough and ready, a bit more natural looking. So I won't do that until I have the figures in place. Okay, so what I do now is I'll start working on the figures, getting the stands cut off, start drilling down through them, give them a little peg or something, drill into that, pop that on, then give it the road path another little coating of some PVA and use some more sand across it, and then put the vehicles on. But I want the positioning of the figures. Now I'm happy with the positioning of those figures, so next step is to get the figures into place. Like I said, I'm going to cut them off their stands, but use a bit of the base to drill into, and put a little peg, so then drill into that, and then they can be pegged into place. So I'll get that done and I'll get back to you. Right, now these have all been glued into place, and I've even put a little spot of super glue, CA glue, whatever you want to call it, on the bottoms of the wheels of this and the bottom of the track of that, so they are now in place as well. Okay, so they're believe it or not, they're actually quite firm, you know. So that if we can move the camera around a small bit, we can get to see the positions of these guys. Now I'm not the best of figure painters, so don't expect super work on the figures. I'm not the best of figure painters, by God, by far any means. I'm happy with them, shall we say. They're not bad, but they're not great either, but they'll do, and you know, I'm happy with my progress on the figures. Next step now is I get more of my PVA glue and put it down on the road section and around here and the tracks and things like that and stuff, so it looks better, looks more natural, rather than looking as if everything has just been placed onto it. I don't want that effect. I want the effect as if it's natural, it's real. Okay, so I get my PVA glue and I'll PVA all the visible sections of the road in around with the tracks on that, and then add more of my ultra fine sand to that, then leave that for about a couple of hours, then remove the excess sand. That should be it then. It should be just a case of remove the tape from the side, make sure the sides are all nicely figured up, and then that's it. Then that'll be the dia finished. Simple as that. So we're nearly there. Just a small little bit more work to do. I'll get that done, and then we'll have the final reveal. How about that? The final reveal. About time. So I'll leave it at that, lads, and we'll get back on and in a few seconds for you God knows what else, how long it's going to be for me, probably a day. Give it, you know, time for that PVA to set in solid with the last bits of sand and things, and we'll have a look at it then. So now it's finally done. It's I've got it all completed, all finished off, all tidied up. I have it here in front of me. So it's time for the final reveal of the Hände, hoch diorama. I've used 3 vehicles in it. I've used a little Panzer II, that to me a Panzer II cheap one. Yeah, you pick it up for about a tenner. I've used the leichter Panzer Sparwagen. Hoch means radio, I think, apparently, and it's the little armour car, light armour car, which leichter Panzer Sparwagen means. Another cheap kit from Tamiya. Great little kits. Those old Tamiya kits, they're fabulous. They really are fabulous. They fall together. And for a finish then, I'm after using the British SAS Jeep. Excuse me, bit of a cough. Poor me. But anyway, with the Jeep, the guy's hands were down, and I'm after repositioning them so they're surrendering. The story behind it is they came around a hill or a mound or something, and straight into a German patrol. What happens after that, like I said earlier on, that's up to yourself to decide whether they escaped or they were shot or they got away with it or spent the rest of the war in a concentration camp or whatever. That's up to you to decide, but this is the where they were caught. So without any further ado, I'll change the angle of the camera. We'll go down, we'll have a look at the dial, and for a finish then I'll stick some pictures up at the end. So let's have a look. Right, as you see, it's all finished finally, and hopefully this will rotate that you can see it. I've got it perched rather dodgily perched on a box with a little turntable underneath that, but hopefully you'll be able to get to see what it looks like. We'll have a zoom in a minute, but we'll just give it a full 360, shall we say, give it a full turn so we can get a look at it. What I have to say about it, I've really said already. The kits, they were fabulous to build, really enjoyable. I'm not the best at figure painting, not by any stretch of the imagination am I any good at figure painting, but I get by and I'm quite happy with my results. These are old Tamiya figures, so they're old moulding, should I say, and they're not as crisp as some of the modern day ones, but they're not bad. They're not bad at all. They're not bad. So there's a full 360 of it. We'll excuse a little squeak now, because it might. Okay, we'll have a kind of a closer look at different parts of it. Right, there's the Jeep with the 2 chaps doing their surrendering thing. Alright, what else we do now? We turn it that way. Squeak. And we've got the little Panzer Sparwagen and the Panzer II. Like I said, the figures, they'll do the job. I'm quite happy with them. There's sort of the rocky-ish road, the rocky hills, should I say, and the sandy road. And for finishing, what I did was I placed the pieces and added I put some more PVA glue down, little lumps in places and things like that, so the sand wouldn't be all pure level, because it wouldn't be pure level, and put in some tracks and little bits and pieces on it. So that's it, lads. That's the final reveal of the Hände hoch diorama. And like I said, I stick in a few still pictures right at the end. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I really did enjoy making this. And don't forget to hit the like button if you did, and any comments would be appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've not already subscribed, and if you have subscribed, like I always say, thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it. And we'll look forward to the next one. So I leave it at that, lads. Hope you all enjoyed it, and don't forget, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. This is John and his Hände hoch diorama, signing off.